Good afternoon from SIUH Community Park. I'm Michael Fiumefreddo here with you today as the Staten Island FerryHawks look to snap a 5-game skid against their rivals, the Long Island Ducks, in the 20th round of the Battle of the Belt. Long Island finished off last night in a huge way with a 7th-run 9th inning to end the game off. They'd eventually win 14-1. That game ended 13 hours ago, but today it's a new day. And Anthony Rodriguez toes the rubber for Staten Island, making his 6th start against the rival Ducks. The Southpaw's recently been stellar against Long Island. 2 earned runs in 17 innings the last 3 outings against Long Island. And for the Ducks, it's Joe Iorio. The right-handed pitcher looks to rebound from his no-win July as he makes his first appearance in the new month. It'll be his 23rd appearance and 13th start of the 2022 campaign. Now let's check out the lineups for today's contest, starting with the visiting Ducks. Phil Caulfield leads off as he did yesterday, followed by L.J. Mazzilli and Sam Travis. Davidson Romero bats cleanup, followed by Carlos Castro. Both of those men hit home runs in the game last night. Dustin Woodcock and Joe DiCarlo make their series debuts. Woodcock in right field, DiCarlo behind home plate at catcher. Vladimir Frias, shortstop tonight, batting 8th, and it's Matt Chamberlain, who makes his FerryHawks debut, signed earlier this morning. He'll be in center field. So Caulfield at second, Mazzilli at right field, Travis in left, Romero on the hot corner at third, Castro at first, Woodcock in right, DiCarlo behind home plate, Frias at short, and Chamberlain in center field. And for Edgardo Alfonso's FerryHawks, a little bit of shifts going on in their lineup today. Antoine Duplantis will start in right field today, as opposed to his usual left. Dilson Herrera at second base, followed by Angel Aguilar. Second game back from his injury, he'll man the hot corner for the FerryHawks. Ricardo Cespedes plays center field, and Andres Noriega once again behind home plate. Ramon Osuna, one of the newer signees to the FerryHawks, will play first base. And then Christopher Cespedes, who the FerryHawks also signed earlier today, coming over from the minors, will play in right field next to Ricardo Cespedes. It's Alfredo Reyes captaining the outfield at short, and Kelsey Whitmore returns back from Canada today. She'll be playing DH one game after Women in Business and Baseball Day here at SIUH Community Park. We'll send it down to the turf for the national anthem, first pitch, and the start of the game. And we're set for action here at SIUH Community Park. Michael Fiumefreddo with you here on Camp Day here in Staten Island. Various campers from across the island coming out to support the FerryHawks and their starting pitcher, Anthony Rodriguez. 24-year-old lefty making his Atlantic League rookie season a worthwhile one, especially here in the second half, most recent starts of his tenure on the FerryHawks. Since the start of his season, he's lowered his ERA from 7.71 to 5.76. That's just over the last 6 starts. Faced Long Island a lot, and he should, considering the FerryHawks have played them now 19 times, and he has the most starts on the FerryHawks roster, with making his 17th. And the FerryHawks have performed well with Rodriguez on the bump. Their best record out of the starting pitchers, 8-8. He is 4-4 in contests, however. FerryHawks donning their home white uniforms, all white jerseys, orange Hawks spelled across the chest with the orange numbers on the backs. The Ducks, on the other hand, wearing the same orange uniforms as last night, orange and white. Laundry crew must have had a quick turnaround, considering these are the same jerseys we saw them last night wearing. But it won't matter, at least for the FerryHawks side of things. They'll be donning the Beer Barons uniforms tomorrow night. And Phil Caulfield's just getting ready to step into the batter's box. Good night for him last night. 3 for 6, 1 run, 1 RBI. It was a great night for all the Ducks, for that matter. 21 total hits for them. Caulfield, the lefty hitter's going to settle in the batter's box. Rodriguez gets his stance, and we're underway here. The first pitch, It's going to be a called strike upstairs, but in the zone, according to Mario Rosas, who'll be calling balls and strikes behind home plate. Mike Williams at first base, and the crew chief, Warren Nicholson, on the third base bag. Second hit's roped into left center field. That's going to be a base hit. Caulfield looks to turn it two, but he's going to stay at first. So add another hit to his resume. The man batting .292, looking to get over the 300 mark for the season. And that's going to help him there as L.J. Mazzilli steps into the batter's box. Another well-known player here in the Ducks organization had his 300th game in a Long Island uniform yesterday. This is going to be 301. Caulfield on first. Check there to first baseman Ramon Osuna. And now's a perfect time to introduce you to the FerryHawks defense. As the second pitch, up and away, ball one. As the first pitch, it's 1-0 count. Aguilar at the hot corner, Reyes at short, Herrera at second, and Osuna at first. Noriega behind home, Rodriguez on the mound. The 1-0 pitch, Caulfield's going. It's going to be a snap throw down. Waiting for the call on Nicholson, no. Looked like Reyes might have dropped it. But it's a stolen base for Caulfield. That makes him 4 for 7 on the year. And as we mentioned, the new signee, Christopher Cespedes, taking left field today. Ricardo Cespedes, the usual captain of the outfield, in center field. And Duplantis moves over from left to right to round off the defense. The 2-0 pitch, outside corner, strike one. 2-1 count now. Caulfield now at first eliminates that double play. But here's the 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss, strike two. Rodriguez evens up the count on Mazzilli. 3 for 6 last night, same stat line as Phil Caulfield, 1 RBI, 1 run. Rodriguez looks back at second. The 2-2. Hit right back to the pitcher. He's going to catch it on the fly, and that's going to be a force out. What a double play after we said that the double play wasn't going to happen. But that's an F1 to Mazzilli. And Caulfield's going to be called out on the snap throw from the pitcher to Herrera at second base. So I guess you could say 2 up, 2 down for Rodriguez. Not in the traditional way, but Sam Travis, former major leaguer, steps into the box. Base is cleared now. Here's the 0-0 pitch. High right over my head. That's going to be on to the roof. Maybe it'll trickle down and one of the young fans could go home with a souvenir today. Doesn't look like it did. Counts 1-0. Pitch inside, ball one. Travis played 3 seasons with the Red Sox from 2017 to 2019. Has a World Series ring. And the former Indiana Hoosier actually hit his first home run of his career against Shane Bieber, as this one's going to be hit foul. Counts 1-2. Travis played in the minor league system throughout his career. Finished off with the Mariners last season. Now having a very good year here in Long Island. Travis batting .304 this season, 94 hits, and 66 ribbies. Travis in left field today, as he was last night. The 1-2 pitch outside, count evens up at 2. Deuce is wild on the scoreboards. That's 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. And the 2-2 pitch, swing tipped foul. Dave the Bat Boy is going to go run after it. Count stays at 2-2. Cloudless skies here on Staten Island, looking over the New York Upper Bay and that New York City skyline. Every time someone comes to the ballpark or up into the press box, they gaze at the view. This one's hit right to Aguilar at first. Long throw over. It's going to get there in time to Osuna. That'll end the inning. So 3 batters faced for Rodriguez, and it's going to be time for the FerryHawks. Let's see if they can get on the board first here on this gorgeous Wednesday afternoon here in Staten Island. Staten Island 0, Ducks 0. We're heading into the bottom of the first. As Antoine Duplantis makes his way over to the lefty batter box for Edgardo Alfonso's group, FerryHawks held the Ducks scoreless in the top of the first inning, and it'll be Duplantis, former LSU Tiger, to take on Joe Iorio, native of West Islip, New York. Ducks play in Central Islip, New York, making his 13th start of the season, 23rd appearance, though. So a little bit of dual action for Iorio this season, both as a reliever and a starter. First pitch to Duplantis, called strike on the inside corner. Duplantis was the bat that scored the only FerryHawks run last night. Pop out to center field. Scored Mario Batista as the 0-1 pitch hit foul. Counts 0-2. Duplantis did record a hit, though, in the game, as last night's DH had to come out in the 7th inning, and that was due to Francisco Carrillo not being able to finish the 5 mandatory innings in the Atlantic League. Duplantis rips one down the right field line, over the fence. Great way to start the game for the FerryHawks. Antoine Duplantis, his 6th homer of the year, and the FerryHawks take a 1-0 lead after their first batter of the night. So the FerryHawks, who have lost their last 5, and I don't believe scored first in any of those contests, get on the board early here as Duplantis rips about a 330-footer. FerryHawks 1, Ducks 0. 20th edition of the Battle of the Belt. FerryHawks now have Dilson Herrera, former major leaguer, step into the batter's box. First pitch, outside, tried to clip the corner, but they're going to say ball 1. Second pitch to Herrera, high, ball 2. And Herrera wants some pitches down the strike zone. Why is that? Today he's going for a franchise record 14 consecutive games with a hit. He's going to make contact with this one right over my head. That's fouled. 2-1 count now for Herrera. Herrera aiming for Ricardo Cespedes' record of 13 games. Right now they're tied as the 2-1 pitch almost hits him there. It's going to go high, ball 3. And this is a situation Herrera would love to find himself in, going for the record. He's got a batter's count. 3 balls, 1 strikes, no outs. And that's going to put Herrera on first. And not the start Joe Iorio might have wanted. Duplantis, home run to the right field fence. First at bat, walks Dilson Herrera, the second at bat. And now the FerryHawks' best batter of the season, Angel Aguilar, gets back in the game. Aguilar, 9 games missed after the incident during the Kentucky Wild Health Genomes game. The last time this team played in the early window, 11 o'clock a.m. His first pitch, contact over the roof. That's going to be on Richmond Terrace for ball 1. Strike 1. Duplantis, at the time of that game, was hanging around the top 10 in terms of multiple categories for the Atlantic League this season. The 0-1 pitch hit right to the pitcher. He's going to turn, gets it to second. Snap throw over to first, not in time. Herrera is going to be called out. Phil Caulfield makes the play from Iorio, but he can't get it over to Carlos Castro playing first base. Castro might have made contact with the glove there, but Aguilar is going to get a hit there or he's not going to get a hit. It's going to be a fielder's choice for Aguilar. Herrera out. First out of the game for the FerryHawks. But they still have a runner at first base, bringing up Ricardo Cespedes, who we've already mentioned, currently the co-holder of the hit streak record for Staten Island. First pitch, ball 1 to him. And as we were going back to Aguilar after he reached first on the fielder's choice, Cespedes rips one foul. Count evens up at 1. Aguilar, 302 batting average, 91 hits, both around that top 10 in the Atlantic League. At the time of the Genome Series a week and a half ago, hits may have fallen off, but we'll get you the exact number in a second. But Aguilar should still be up there in terms of Atlantic League stats because a lot of the guys with higher ones haven't really qualified for the amount of games they've played. Rusney Castillo, one of the guys who's currently might be leading the team in batting average for the FerryHawks, or at least of the significant players. This one's ripped right to the glove of Carlos Castro, who makes the catch. Not sure if they're going to call out Angel Aguilar there as well. And they will. Angel Aguilar's not really too happy about that one, but Castro makes a great catch just before it hits the ground, able to tag first base as well, get the twin killing on Ricardo Cespedes. But the FerryHawks, while they're not too happy with the outcome of that one, Eduardo Alfonso coming over to have a chat with Mike Williams over at the first base line. They're going to walk back. They seem to understand what happened. But it's going to be a good start to the game for the FerryHawks. The Antoine Duplantis homer makes the score 1-0 after 1. 1 run scored on 1 hit, no left stranded. We'll be back at the top of the second. 1-0 after 1. FerryHawks lead the Long Island Ducks. Ducks now got the bats in their hands, looking to answer, and there's no better person to do it than the man stepping into the righty batter box right now. That's Davidson Romero. Already showed he's got the power to hit it out. Home run to left center field last night in what was, as I mentioned, 21 total hits for the Ducks, matching the FerryHawks franchise record most hits. Romero in last night's contest, 2 for 4, 3 runs, 4 ribbies. Looking to add to that tonight. Rodriguez settles. First pitch, low and outside, ball 1. Davidson Romero, one of the Ducks' veterans on the staff, 3rd season with them. 1-0 pitch, little low. We're going to call it ball 2. Romero with the team in 2019 when they won the Atlantic League Championship, and he was named that year's championship game MVP. The 2-0 pitch, inside now, 3-0 count. No strikes so far this inning for Anthony Rodriguez. In the championship series, as the 3-0 pitch, going to be called strike. Romero remains in the batter's box. That one looked like it was a little bit in the lower region of the strike zone, but Mario Rosas going to call it strike 1. 3-1 pitch. Romero thought it was a ball, but he's going to remain at the batter's box. Rosas called it strike 2, and the count fills up. Romero, 444 batting average in the small sample size games. 2 home runs, 9 ribbies, 3 runs for him. That's going to be ball 4. Romero will take first base. And just when you thought the FerryHawks were a little bit safe with Romero now running instead of hitting, they're bringing up Carlos Castro. And we mentioned Angel Aguilar teetering around the top 10 in terms of batting average. Castro, who's playing for his 3rd team this season, is in the top 5 nonetheless. .335 batting average. And this one, first pitch, is going to be roped to left center, almost at the warning track. Is it going to be enough to score? Ricardo Cespedes gets it in, and Romero's going to slide all the way. Is good. Davidson Romero from first base takes it all the way home, ties the game up at 1 apiece. And just as we mentioned, Castro there on the ribby double. Both of those guys show that they can hit the ball on a daily basis, and especially in the last 2 games for the Ducks. We already mentioned in the pregame that both of those guys were responsible for home runs that took place. 6 RBIs between the two of them in last night's 14-1 victory. Dustin Woodcock didn't play last night, but the lefty batter is going to step into the box now with his team tied and a man in scoring position. First pitch might have gotten a piece of Woodcock's lumber. Looks like a gray top, black bottom bat for number 15. Either way, it's going to be a called strike. The 0-1 pitch, though, high. Looks like Rodriguez is going to be called off by Aguilar, who makes the play. Flight it out down that third base line, and it's going to bring up Joe DiCarlo. Castro stays at second base. He's playing first base tonight instead of where he played last night, which is catcher. That job's going to Joe DiCarlo for tonight. The 0-0 pitch. Thought about it, but it's going to be outside, ball 1. DiCarlo, who we've seen play both the infield and behind home plate, gets the honor of sporting the tools of ignorance tonight, while it's Castro who's playing in the field. 1-0 pitch makes it 2-0. Carlos Castro, not really a threat to run, especially because he is on second. 2 for 3, though, in games so far this season. He's played a lot of them. 65. 2-0 pitch, low and inside. That's going to be ball 3. But last night we did see a few wild pitches or Noriega drops advance a runner from second to third. We even saw one, and I believe it was Davidson Romero, double checking that now, it was, who stole home on a Noriega drop. 3-0 pitch, there's strike 1. Dustin Woodcock, playing in his first Atlantic League season, came over from the Frontier League where he spent a few years there after college. This one's going to be hit high down the foul line of right field. It's going to make the seats. It looks like it's going to be our first fan souvenir. Hopefully one of the young campers here on camp day at SIUH Community Park gets to bring home a nice baseball from the FerryHawks game to show and tell the next time they have it. But the count fills up at 3-2. 1 out still, 1 man on second base. This is Joe DiCarlo. Woodcock flew out at the last at bat. Rodriguez settles. The pitch hit down the left field line this time. That's going to make the seats. And he'll stay alive. Actually, a really far ball. Probably about 310, 315. Hitting the Hobra Taco Zone. We recently found out they sell burritos. A few of us in the press box have been going over there to get burrito bowls. But it was recently discovered they do sell burritos, and I'm sure the taco joint does sell a few tacos there. just one of the many Staten Island native dishes and restaurants as DeCarlo walks. Hobra located on Forest Avenue and inside SIUH Community Park. As the chants of when I say Ferry, you say Hawks that have become very popular here at the ballpark start to roar from the crowd. Now, I don't know if you could hear it behind the closed window here I have in the suite, but there's a lot of crowd noise coming as Vladimir Frias steps in the box. 2 for 4 last night, running a ribby. First pitch from DeCarlo, low and inside. Ball 1. So DeCarlo walks. That's Rodriguez's second walk of the inning. First one being Davidson Romero, who scored, tie up the game at 1 apiece. Still 1 out, runners on first and second. The 1-0 pitch right back to Rodriguez. He can't get there. They're going to get the force out at second and to first. Dilson Herrera to Ramon Osuna on the 4-3 twin killing to end the inning. Tie ball game here at SIUH Community Park. Once again, I'm Michael Fiumefreddo. We'll see you in 60 seconds for the start of the bottom of the second inning. So the last time the FerryHawks took the bats, the score was tied. Now, top of the bottom of the second inning, the score is tied again, but not in the way the FerryHawks would have liked. They were up 1-0 after their last go-around, but a Davidson Romero run scored on a double by Carlos Castro, 2 of the best bats for this Long Island Ducks team, has tied the score at 1 apiece. Castro caught for the Ducks last night, now playing first base. And this should be Andres Noriega's spot. Ramon Osuna, who's supposed to be on deck, is also warming up in the warm-up circle. But Noriega, I believe, has just come out of the dugout. Probably, yes, he has. He probably had to take off all the catcher's gear before his go-around, his first time up at the plate. But it will be Noriega who's caught for both games of this series so far. Noriega's been playing a lot. Only a few off nights for him. Justin O'Connor, the other catcher, one of 3 other catchers on the roster, out with an injury right now. Brian Gonzalez filled in for Noriega, the 21-year-old, a few nights last week. But here he is again. Righty hitter. First pitch goes inside right down the middle probably for Joe Iorio. Counts 0-1. Andres Noriega 1 for 2 last night. No runs, no ribbies. Considering the FerryHawks only did have the 1 run. And the man who scored that run, not even in the lineup tonight, that was Mario Batista. The 1-1 pitch now. Hit right to the shortstop. Frias gets it over to Castro, makes the play. Another challenging catch for the man listed as a catcher. Gets out the catcher for the FerryHawks. And that's going to be the first out. 6-3 if you're scoring it at home. And in comes Ramon Osuna. Talked about him last time around. We were in the booth. Osuna recently signed, become one of the fan favorites here over the past week at SIUH Community Park. First pitch, inside, strike 1. The reason people love Osuna? His build. 6'3", 245 pounds. Team from Long Island, one of the Little League teams there, was up in the commentary box as the 0-1 pitch goes high for ball 1. And we asked them what their favorite player was so far, who their favorite player was on the FerryHawks if they had one. And they, without a question, said Ramon Osuna. And I quote, they said he's a big boy. Tips one foul here, the big boy does. When I was told I was going to get my first look at Ramon Osuna, I was told I was going to get to see the Hulk. in a way. And I know you can't see him here in this radio broadcast, but he fits the picture. Down in the count right now, 1-2. That pitch, swing and a miss. He's going to go down swinging, strike 3. 2 up, 2 down in the inning for Iorio. His 51st strikeout of the year. And if you could hear Armand Lane, our PA announcer here at SIUH Community Park, he's going to announce for the first time Christopher Cespedes. Cespedes, 8 seasons in minor league affiliated baseball. He's going to take his first pitch in the FerryHawks batter's box for a strike 1. Spent some time with the Cleveland organization, Brewers, and most recently the Orioles. Swing and a miss for strike 2 on the former AAA. Pretty much every form of minor league baseball you can play in affiliated baseball. Third pitch, they're not going to appeal. They're just going to say it's ball 1. Cespedes did look like he swung maybe a little check swing, but it's not going to matter. The 1-2 pitch, though, is hit. That's going to be a high-flying ball. Travis is going to run in, make the catch for out number 3 of the inning. So Cespedes down on an F7. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the Ducks. And we are still tied at 1 here after 2. Michael Fiumefreddo here with you from Staten Island. Tie score still after 2 frames. 1-1 FerryHawks versus the Ducks. Long Island getting ready to flip the lineup card here at the top of the 3rd, but not after Matt Chamberlain makes his Long Island debut. Lefty batter throws righty. And just like Chris Cespedes, Matt Chamberlain joined the Ducks organization this morning. The 0-0 pitch. Up and away from ball 1. Chamberlain, Rhode Island, Connecticut native. Attended the University of New Haven. 1-0 pitch goes for a ball. Played with New Haven 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020 before joining the St. Louis Cardinals organization. Found his way up to high A, but most recently played for their single A affiliate, the Palm Beach Cardinals. 3-0 count. It's going to be a called strike here on the 3-0 pitch. Counts now 3-1. But we just saw Chris Cespedes get called out on a fly out to left field. Strike 2 now on the 3-1 pitch. Let's see what Chamberlain can do in his Atlantic League debut. Rodriguez now on the full count pitch. Hits it right to Aguilar, or Osuna. Osuna is going to make the play on his own. Gets him. Right to first base there. Osuna thought about throwing it to Rodriguez, who sprinted over from the mound. But Osuna said, no, I'm going to take it myself. 3-you if you're scoring that at home. And Chamberlain 0 for 1 here in a Ducks uniform. Back to the top, Phil Caulfield, already a single in the game so far. 4th hit for him this series. Rodriguez throws one high. In fact, very high there. Over Caulfield's head. Granted, Phil Caulfield not touching the skyscrapers like some of the other guys in the Atlantic League. Only 5'8". The count's 1-0. Counts now 2-0. Rodriguez settles. He's going to throw to the lefty. Right down the middle, strike 1. Counts now 2-1. going to try and get a pitch count on Rodriguez now as the 2-1 pitch swing that tipped foul. That's going to be on Richmond Terrace. Only Atlantic League game in play at the moment. The Gastonia Honey Hunters and the Lexington Legends are going to get underway in Lexington. It's 11:40 right now. The game starts at 12:05, so in the next half hour, hopefully by the 6th or 7th inning, we should have some score updates on that. Caulfield's pitch is going to be hit to short. Reyes is there, makes the play to Osuna. That's another out. 2 up, 2 down for the Ducks. And the FerryHawks are now facing LJ Mazzilli. Mazzilli, son of former Major Leaguer Lee Mazzilli, as first pitch, ball 1 in the dirt. LJ Mazzilli, which stands for Lee Jr., his full name Lee Lewis Mazzilli, we mentioned played in his 300th game in a Ducks uniform. But he spent 6 seasons in the Mets organization, the team his father played for, and the team his coach Wally Backman played for. Backman and Mazzilli were teammates on those Mets teams back in the 80s. They played together for 5 seasons. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Called strike 1. And let's see if Rodriguez can work his way back into the count. Here's the 3-1 pitch, hit fouled. I don't know if you could have heard the sound effect there, but it did hit probably about 10 feet from where I'm sitting. However, I'm comfortably inside. There were no fans there in the suites, but it did trickle down into the main stands. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Roper to right center field. Chris Cespedes is there, and he's going to... Actually, that's Antoine Duplantis. This lineup change giving me a little bit of trouble, but Duplantis, who normally plays in left, is playing in right field today. Mazzilli's ball hit to right center, and we've seen Duplantis make athletic plays in left field, and we just saw him make one in right. 1, 2, 3 innings, back-to-back this time. FerryHawks respond, but they're going to have their chance now in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Score still 1-1. 1-1 score here at SIUH Community Park. Michael Fiumefreddo here with you as we enter the bottom of the 3rd inning. Staten Island looking to snap their 5-game losing skid with Alfredo Reyes now in the batter's box. First pitch hit foul over the roof here at right field. Reyes was supposed to have the day off yesterday. Ended up having to first pinch hit as the 1-1 pitch roped inside. That's going to be through for a base hit. Alfredo Reyes was supposed to be a pinch runner, pinch hitter for Joseph Monhay, who came out of the game with some kind of injury after recording a hit. Ended up having to slide into the shortstop position, moving Aguilar over to third base after Javi Betancourt had to come out of the game. But here's the first pitch now to Kelsey Whitmore, who is making her return after having a little bit of fun over in Canada playing for the USA women's baseball team in their international friendly games. Iorio looks over to first, checking on Reyes. Reyes is a threat to steal, 14 for 21 on the year. And I believe Iorio and Castro both know it. Castro staying close to the bag now. Here's the 0-1. Whitmore swing and a miss. It's going to go for strike 2. Whitmore serving as the DH tonight. Normally listed as a pitcher / outfielder. We've seen her play in both of those roles this season. No hits, no earned runs in few appearances over the month of June, 3 innings there. First female to pitch in the Atlantic League on May 4th at Lexington. This one's going to be up and away for ball 1. And first woman to start an Atlantic League game, first one to appear in an Atlantic League game. The accolades just keep coming for the first female player in minor league or major league affiliated independent league play. But on this one, Whitmore is going to go out swinging. Strike 3. First out of the inning, bringing up Antoine Duplantis as they flip the lineup card. Whitmore still looking for her first hit. And if she does that, I think you've guessed it, she will become the first female player with a hit in the Atlantic League. And pretty much everything Whitmore does for the first time is an Atlantic League first. Duplantis' first pitch foul right over the main broadcast booth. Went back down into the seats. See if a young camper goes and gets that one. Here's Duplantis now. We already know what he did on the first at bat of the game for the FerryHawks side of things. Home run to right field. This one's going to be up and away ball 1. Count is 1-1 with 1 out. And 1 man on, being Alfredo Reyes. So Duplantis already with 1 hit, 1 run, 1 ribby in this game. Pretty much matching his stat total from last night. This one's going to be another hard hit ball fouled down the left field stands. And he's got the 1-run home run. Chance to make it a 2-run home run to add on to the day. Let's see. Iorio settles for the 1-2 pitch. It's going to be ripped for a base hit. Going to advance Reyes. Let's see if he turns 3. No, he doesn't, but that's going to go right to Travis out in left field. And they're just going to send it into the infield. Another multi-hit game for Antoine Duplantis. We mentioned in the last broadcast, LSU's leading career hits leader. And another multi-hit game for him. That's going to be his 17th on the year. Reyes moves to second, and in steps Dilson Herrera. Still looking for that 14th consecutive game of the hit. Here's going to be an opportunity. He's not going to get it. Hit right to Frias. Snap throws over to second base where Caulfield's waiting, able to get out Reyes on the force. And that's going to retire the side. So it looked somewhat promising, turns into a little bit of a disaster for the FerryHawks there. They leave 2 stranded on 2 hits. And another twin killing for the Ducks to retire the side. Still tied at 1 here at SIUH Community Park. 4th inning coming up here. And here comes Sam Travis stepping into the batter's box. The aforementioned former major leaguer, former Boston Red Sox World Series champion, Sam Travis. 0 for 1 so far on the day. First pitch from Rodriguez in the dirt, ball 1. It's the 4th inning now as Travis rips one. Aguilar makes a diving catch, rips it over to Osuna, who can't make the play. It's going to be behind him. Travis is going to wait at first, take the base hit, and put a man on for Davidson Romero. And Romero, we know, is someone who can bring in a run when needed. In fact, they did it a few times in last night's game. Both the traditional way on just the regular base hit and the fun way with a 3-run home run. A-Rod now throws his first pitch to Romero. It's going to say it's outside of the batter's box on the corner, but ball one. 1-0 pitch low. That's going to make it ball two. Romero walked in the second inning, but found his way back to the bag. The Carlos Castro ribby double brought him all the way from first to home plate. The 2-0 pitch going to make it 3-0. And Rodriguez pitching well. 2 walks so far, 2 hits given up. But it's time to make it 3. And Romero's going to walk to first base. No call from Rosas. And yes, that's going to be ball 4. Travis moves over to second. Romero to first. Carlos Castro now steps in the batter's box with 2 men on. And a little bit of controversy over Castro's 9th inning dinger last night. It was one of those where you hit it, you know it's out. You might want to celebrate a little bit. So what did Castro do? He took his bat all the way down about 3/4 of the first base line, walking, staring down the pitcher, Joe Cuja at the time, and then just flipped his bat, started running as he brought in Davidson Romero as well. The problem with that was they were already up 6. It was the top of the 9th inning, and the FerryHawks weren't really a threat to challenge them for the lead of the game, as he just basically looks at that 0-1 pitch. It's going to be ball strike 2, counts 0-2. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is a rivalry game. It is the Battle of the Belt. These teams have met multiple times throughout the season. The 2-0 pitch tipped foul. Castro is going to stay alive. Things have been getting a little chippy in terms of how the most recent couple of games for this rivalry matchup has gone. And we'll talk more about that as this game progresses. But here's the 0-2 pitch. It's going to go right to second, flip to third, flip to the shortstop, and to first base. That's going to be a 4-6-3 double play. Herrera to Reyes to Osuna. Gets out Romero, advances Travis to third. Castro's out on the twin killing. With 2 outs, Dustin Woodcock will step into the batter's box. The leading run, Sam Travis, 90 feet away from scoring. First pitch going to be a little bit inside to Woodcock. Ball number 1. Dustin Woodcock in 70 games this season, all for the Ducks. 60 hits, .265 batting average, 33 ribbies. So this might be a guy you want up if you're Wally Backman with the leading run standing on the hot corner. 1-0 pitch inside, ball 2. Both teams have recorded 3 hits tonight. Much different than how last night's contest went. We already mentioned Ducks with 21. FerryHawks only had 5. Counts now 3-0 after the 2-0 pitch goes outside to Woodcock. We have Woodcock up, as here's the 3-0 pitch high, and that's going to be ball 4. Puts Woodcock at first, keeps Travis at third. Runners on the corners now, and Was that an intentional walk? I don't think it was, because while Woodcock definitely a threat to get a hit, and the 33 ribbies do kind of prove that point, Joe DiCarlo is one-upping him in both categories of batting average and ribbies. As this one's hit high into center field, it's going to stay in the ballpark. Cespedes catches it probably about 370 feet from home plate. That'll retire the side. And Rodriguez is able to get out of a very sticky situation. Keeps the score at 1 apiece as we head to the bottom of the fourth. So in between innings here at SIUH Community Park, there's usually a few games and festivities going on. And on camp day, it's no different. We just had a tug of war at the mid-second inning, and mid-fourth inning, there was a water balloon home run derby of some sort. Campers getting involved as some of the FerryHawks staff throws water balloons into the crowd as Angel Aguilar steps into the batter's box. Looking to break the tie here. And while the Ducks had Sam Travis, Davidson Romero, and Carlos Castro up, FerryHawks have some of their reliable bats coming up as well, Angel Aguilar being the first one, taking the first pitch, 1-0 count. He'll be followed by Ricardo Cespedes and Andres Noriega. 1-0 pitch, ball 2. High for Aguilar. Didn't even attempt it. Some light calisthenics going on in both bullpens, but nothing really to note. As the count's now 3-0. It is still the fourth inning. We'd have to get into the fifth inning for it to really worry both managers and pitching coaches. As the 3-0 pitch just clips the corner of the batter's box for strike 1 on Aguilar. Aguilar reached on the fielder's choice to start off the first inning. But he's going to swing and a miss here to strike 2. That's going to fill up the count. Aguilar was on first. Ricardo Cespedes hit a hard ball down the first base line. Aguilar's going to walk there after ball 4. But Aguilar was trying to, well, he had to, he was on first base, but needed to head over to second base. I didn't think he expected Castro to catch the ball, but the man who did play catcher last night probably has a pretty good glove. Made a very nice catch and was able to tag the base, get Aguilar out for a twin killing that ended the inning. Cespedes' first hit now is going to go foul. Ends up right in front of a group of campers wearing red shirts. From what I can see, there's a lot of different camps out there. Not sure which ones exactly, but some festive shirts. Check throw over to first base. Castro's there, but Aguilar stays safe. Mike Williams, the one calling from the first base line. Back to Cespedes now. 0-1 count for him. Aguilar's going to go this time, but not after Cespedes ropes one. Right to second base. Caulfield's going to drop it, though, trying to get it over to Castro in time. But it's a fly out for Cespedes. Aguilar is going to remain on first base. And Caulfield probably would have got him there. But unable to get the ball out of his glove cleanly. And Castro gave him a little, what are you doing? But we still play ball. It's going to go as an F4 in the book. Andres Noriega's first pitch. Slight blooper, going to stay in the infield. Romero's going to get it over to Castro in time, but not before advancing Angel Aguilar. 2 outs now as Ramon Osuna comes up. Osuna went 0 for 3 last night, looking to get his first hit of the series. 0 for 1 today as well, for a combined 0 4 on the series so far. Iorio settles. Tipped foul into the netting. Ramon Osuna does have Angel Aguilar in scoring position, and he's a man that we've seen have that, as they call, warning track power. Not going to show it off there. Ball's a little high. It's going to be ball 1. 1-1 count now for Osuna. Osuna does have 2 home runs on the year, one of them being at SIUH Community Parks. 1-1 pitch is high. It's ball 2. And where we saw Antoine Duplantis' ball go into right down that right field line where a lot of baseballs go, because it is the shortest distance in the park, hovering around 320. Same with left field as well. Osuna hit one right to center field at 390. Third pitch up and away. Great catch by DiCarlo. That would have been back into the netting if he didn't stand up, reach out, and get the ball in the glove. But it does become a batter's count now for Osuna, who, when he hit his home run here in Staten Island, right into the batter's eye, almost looked like it hit the top of the wall, but that's about a 392-foot shot, I'd say. It's not going to matter here. He won't have to show off that power, as it was ball 4, puts a runner on first and second. And if there's ever really a good time to record your first hit for a team in your first game, it would be now for Christopher Cespedes. 2 runners on first and second, 2 outs. And a ribby here would put the FerryHawks up on their rivals from Long Island. It's going to take the first pitch, but it's a strike. 0-1 count. Cespedes is from the Dominican Republic. Not sure if there's any real relation to Ricardo Cespedes. First pitch hit hard. Maybe going to be a chance at it. It's going to drop. Aguilar's going to round third. Head home. That's going to score. And just as we were saying how good it would be of a time to hit your first hit here, he gets a ribby. Angel Aguilar scores. Makes the score 2-1. Staten Island leads. Ramon Osuna all the way to third base. Cespedes roped that one. A little bit of a blooper into right field. Dustin Woodcock tried to make a play at it. Had to let it bounce. Great contact for the former minor leaguer. And bringing up Alfredo Reyes now with runners on the corners. First pitch just outside for ball 1. Cespedes' first hit and first ribby for the FerryHawks and in the Atlantic League. It's now 1 for 2 on the day. Reyes is going to try and get there, hit it right to the third baseman, Davidson Romero, flips it over to Caulfield at second, and that'll retire the side. Staten Island takes a 2-1 lead here in the Battle of the Belt after 4 frames. 5th inning coming up here, and the most important one in the Atlantic League, especially with a game as tight as it is right now. We'll see in 60 seconds at the top half where the Ducks are going to try and answer the FerryHawks. A little bit of technical difficulties there, but Caulfield's going to hit one that goes all the way back to the wall in right field. He's going to reach 2. It's going to be a double for him. Second hit of the game for Phil Caulfield. Former Loyola Marymount Lion. So 2 outs now. Not sure where the audio actually cut out on that last inning. But what happened was Frias hits one into right, as here's LJ Mazzilli now about to retire the side. Duplantis there in right field to retire the side. So we'll keep it with you here because not sure where the audio caught out. This side is retired, but what happened was Frias base hit into right field. Matt Chamberlain gets up, hits it right back to Rodriguez, flips it over to Alfredo Reyes, gets the out at first, or second for Frias, and then flips it to Ramon Osuna at first, gets out Chamberlain. Frias and Herrera exchanging a few words as Frias walked back to the dugout. But that'll retire the side now. No runs scored for the Ducks on 2 hits. They leave one stranded. And they're in a bit of a deficit right now as Staten Island gets ready to send Kelsey Whitmore to the plate. We'll be right back. First pitch to Kelsey Whitmore going to be a ball. Top of the 5th here at SIUH Community Park. FerryHawks leading this game in the Battle of the Belt against the Long Island Ducks 2-1. Scored the leading run off of Christopher Cespedes' first hit as a FerryHawk. Swing and a miss for Kelsey Whitmore. Counts 2-1 now. 1-0 pitch was a ball. The 2-0 pitch, the swing and the miss. And while Cespedes got his first hit as a FerryHawk, Kelsey Whitmore's looking to do the same here. It's not going to happen. It's hit right to short. And that'll get her out at first. 6-3 if you're scoring it at home. Frias to Castro. And we'll flip the lineup card for New York. Antoine Duplantis. Already 2 hits in this game through the first 5 innings. One of them being a solo shot as the leadoff man in the bottom of the first. Started scoring very early for the FerryHawks. And like they say, early bird gets the worm. Antoine Duplantis has done just that. Now when you look at how the FerryHawks season has gone, as Duplantis rips one foul, counts 1-1. You kind of notice a trend what happens when the FerryHawks allow their opponent to score first. They typically lose that game. Their record in those scenarios, 10-44. But when the FerryHawks score first, still a little bit of an unpredictability factor there. Their record in games like that, 19-17. Duplantis takes ball 2. Counts 2-1. And you can try and predict all you want as Duplantis takes the pitch high. Batters count now 3-1 with 1 out. But when you put it all together, FerryHawks do have a decent shot of winning this game. It is played on a Wednesday. And it's the only day of the week that the FerryHawks do have a winning record. They're 8-7. That's going to be ball 4 for Duplantis. No movement in either bullpen just yet. We're still in the 5th inning. Joe Iorio is still on the mound. As to my left, Frankie the FerryHawk coming in to hang out with some of the fans here in the suite section of SIUH Community Park. And from this vantage point, he'll get to watch Dilson Herrera try and get his 14th consecutive game hit. That's a strike number 1. Herrera's 14th consecutive game with a hit. Could it come on this at bat? He's already 0 for 2 today. He's 0 for 1 with 1 walk, where he was ruled out after Pitch back to Iorio in the first. And it was a fielder's choice that ended up getting him out at second base. 1-1 count for Herrera. Roped foul just over our heads. That'll hit the roof and go on to Richmond Terrace. Counts 1-2. Now, they tend to say the announcer jinx isn't real, but we're going to try it out. I'll say that I don't think Dilson Herrera gets a hit here. And the pitch, low and outside. We're going to have to wait on the next one to see. Count evens up at 2. Of course, the announcing world, the baseball world, and the sports world had a tremendous loss late last night. Los Angeles Dodgers announced that their longtime announcer, Vin Scully, passed away. As Herrera hits one back to the track, center field almost goes out, but it will not be a Nick Castellanos situation, unfortunately. Matt Chamberlain there to save, get the out there, and Herrera will have to wait till his next time up to try and challenge Cespedes. But it's Angel Aguilar's turn. Walked last inning and was able to trot all the way home after Chris Cespedes' first hit, which we mentioned a few times this inning. First pitch, strike one, clipping the outside corner. Vin Scully passed away at the age of 94. Sad day for all of baseball, as the Dodgers announcer for almost 70 seasons is no longer with us. Aguilar flips it, or hits it right back to Iorio, flips it to Castro, and that'll retire the side. FerryHawks still lead, though, 2-1 as we enter the 6th inning. For the Ducks, it'll be Travis Romero and Castro. Very dangerous lineup for them. Coming up, looking to tie up and potentially take the lead of this game, and we'll be right back. We've hit the top of the 6th inning here in Staten Island. Michael Fiumefreddo with you. FerryHawks are leading the Long Island Ducks 2-1 on camp day here at SIUH Community Park. Sam Travis stepping into the batter's box now, already with a hit in this game. He's 1 for 2. And I'm not sure if the PA address announcer, Armand Lane, is really in tune with some of Disney's new songs, because we've heard a few Frozen songs. We've heard We Don't Talk About Bruno maybe about 3 times. And he's trying to get the campers to do a little bit of a sing-along, but maybe it's time to add a few more songs onto the playlist. Counts 1-1 now for Travis. 1-1 pitch inside. That's going to make it ball 2. Rodriguez still in the game now, as this one's roped right past Osuna. It's going to go to Duplantis out in right field. Travis is through for a base hit, and he's going to stay at first base. But while the FerryHawks have the lead in the runs column, that hit gives, or adds to the Ducks' lead in the hit column. It's now 6-4 in favor of the Ducks. And in steps Davidson Romero. No hits today, but 2 times on base. Walk in the second, walk in the fourth. First pitch is a ball. Could we be on our way to a third walk? And for Anthony Rodriguez, that might be probably the safest play. We'll see what he does here. He's going to make contact with it. Chris Cespedes is not there in time. It's going to drop for a base hit. Advances Travis over to second base. And up steps Carlos Castro. Romero came into this game with a 12-game on-base streak in progress, made it 13, and that hit gives him a hit in 3 straight contests. And there's going to be a mound meeting right now. We are through 5 innings, so Nelson Figueroa, the pitching coach, might be considering making a change. Eric Marinez warming up in the Hawks bullpen as we speak. And Rodriguez has pitched well. Of course, there was the Castro double that brought in Romero in the second. But other than that, he's been in trouble a few times, able to get out of it. Then again, it has been on the shoulders of a lot of the fielding. No strikeouts for the Hawks pitcher. And with this dangerous meat of the lineup now having 2 guys on and the 3rd guy up, it might be time to make the switch. Castro is going to take Rodriguez's first pitch, hit it down into the Hawks bullpen on the left field line. Strike 1. Castro's ribby double makes his hitting streak and on-base streak that he's currently on. Puts them both at double digits, 10 for both of those. Second pitch he's going to swing at, hit right to Ricardo Cespedes. Travis is going to go, and now he's going to stay when he saw the arm of Cespedes. Send it beautifully over to Alfredo Reyes, who was right there to make the play. Great throw by Cespedes, great catch by Reyes, great eye and decision-making by Sam Travis. But Castro's at-bat is over, first out of the inning for the FerryHawks. Rodriguez did come off the mound a little bit, probably just to maybe cover third base. Walked back, no mound meeting necessary. He'll now face Dustin Woodcock. First pitch, strike 1, swing and a miss. Marinez throwing pitches in the Hawks bullpen. We've seen him time and time again. Worth noting that he was a position player earlier in the year as the 0-1 pitch right down the middle for strike 2. And Marinez, we'll have more chances to talk about him, but definitely a guy that could put through a highlight tape from the mound. Rodriguez, though, settles for the 0-2. Could this be his first strikeout of the day? Swing and a tip. It's going to go into the back of the net. Dave the Bat Boy is heading over there. I'm not sure if it's because last night's game went 3.5 hours, ended around 10 o'clock, 10:10 maybe. And this game started with a quick turnaround, but haven't really seen Dave the Bat Boy get too active right now. This one's in the dirt, past Noriega. Both runners advance. Travis to third, Romero to second. Count is 1-2. And now it looks like a meeting at home plate. Rodriguez went to Noriega instead of Noriega going to Rodriguez. But now they're both going to walk over to the pitcher's mound. Rosas, the ump, follows them. Woodcock still stepping outside the lefty batter's box. Count is still in favor of Rodriguez, but the right fielder Woodcock now has 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. So a sac fly is just as good here. This one's going to be another ball in the dirt. Noriega takes it off the chest, off the one hop. Count evens up at 2. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a tip foul. And if you're Grado Alfonso and Nelson Figueroa, if you look at this Ducks lineup they have in, there's not really a batter you can say, okay, this one is one we don't really have to worry about that much. We don't really know what Matt Chamberlain's like, and the rest of the Ducks all hitting over 240. And this is when Woodcock's going to blast one to Duplantis in right. There's the sac fly. Travis is going to go. Romero's going to stay at second after another beautiful throw from the outfield to Alfredo Reyes. It's not going to matter, though. Travis ties up the game at 2 on the ribby sac fly from Dustin Woodcock. That's not going to be an option now for Joe DiCarlo, though. 2 outs. Joe DiCarlo 0 for 1 in today's contest with a walk. Now there's a near full infield meeting over on the mound. Fonzie out there as well, and here comes Marinez. It looks like he'll close out the inning. The outfielders conversing. Everyone from the infield except for, I believe, Dilson Herrera, who's talking to Romero over on the second base bag. It will be Ramirez, and nothing to be ashamed of out there for Anthony Rodriguez, who puts together another great performance against the Long Island Ducks. And Eric Marinez is going to face Joe DiCarlo to end off the inning. We're getting you the final numbers on We're going to get you the final numbers here on Rodriguez. 5 2/3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 runs, 4 free passes, no strikeouts. Kept the score tied up until the last sacrifice fly from Dustin Woodcock. But still, the way this FerryHawks pitching staff has performed in recent games, it's a stellar outing for the lefty rookie. Here comes Eric Marinez now, facing off against Joe DiCarlo. As we mentioned, Marinez was playing a little bit of the field earlier on in the year, switching primarily to pitcher, though. And we'll tell you about some of his highlights that I've seen in recent games here with the FerryHawks. But we'll see what he does after he faces Joe DiCarlo. DiCarlo's first shot is going to go foul. No, it was down the right field line. Maybe stayed in the ballpark or ended up by the outlet mall. It was a hard hit ball, though. Counts 0-1. Pitch just a little bit low. Going to even up the count at 1. The always dangerous Davidson Romero still hanging out on that second base bag, exchanging a few words with Herrera. This one's going to be hit by DiCarlo, and it looks like a little bit of an issue in left field. That's Chris Cespedes, but Romero's going to come all the way over from second and score the winning run, or the leading run. There's a grounder right past Reyes and Aguilar, short and third, respectively. Ended up in the glove of Chris Cespedes. Might have dropped it, but it looked like Romero was going to stay at third, and DiCarlo was going to stay at second. Romero sees it, takes off. DiCarlo started taking off, ended up staying on the first base bag, but it's going to make the game 3-2 in favor of the Ducks. And in steps Vladimir Frias. Still 1 out remaining in the top of the 6th inning. So we're getting our first boat activity of the day. Two-0 count now on Frias. And there's going to be the 2-0 pitch is going to go for strike one. The boat is called the Energy Chancellor. It's a pretty long ship. Black top, rusty red bottom. Doesn't seem to be carrying anything, though. And while Baseball Reference has been one of the most helpful websites I've had in this little summer gig I've had, Marine Traffic's probably a close second. We'll get some more info on the Energy Chancellor in between innings, but Frias now is going to retire the side, hits it right to Ricardo Cespedes in center field. F9 if you're scoring it at home, F8 if you're scoring it at home. Out number 3. But not after an effective inning from the Long Island Ducks. 2 runs on 3 hits. They're going to leave one stranded and send it over to the FerryHawks, who now trail for the first time in this one. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Ricardo Cespedes. Bottom of the 6th inning here at SIUH Community Park. FerryHawks now trailing for the first time in this contest after a 2-run inning from the Long Island Ducks. Scores now 3-2. Michael Fiumefreddo with you here as Cespedes is going to hit a blooper into center field. Great play there by Caulfield, able to get there just in time. And that'll be out number 1. Joe Iorio remains in the game. The reliever slash starter is going to try and work his way through this 6th inning. And already a bit of help from his team. 1 out, 1 up, 1 down. Is Noriega now. First pitch, he's going to swing on it, hit foul right to Carlos Castro on the first base bag, and he's gone. So 2 straight pitches end in 2 straight outs, and if you're Wally Backman and Iorio could get out of this inning in very quick fashion, you're going to be a happy camper here on camp day at the FerryHawks game. Ramon Osuna now going to take the first pitch, but it's going to be a called strike one right down the middle. And for a guy that we talked about having such great power and the ability to hit it out, from my vantage point, that looked like probably the perfect ball to take. The 0-1, it'd be a little bit outside. Go for ball number 1. Count evens up at 1. Osuna's going to swing and pop it high into left field. Travis is there, and that'll retire the side. So a very quick 1-2-3 inning for Staten Island, and the Ducks are able to hold on to their lead. Cespedes fly out to Second, Noriega fly out to first. Osuna fly out to left field. No hits, no runs, no left stranded. We're going to go to the top of the 7th now, where Eric Marinez, we'll get to see a real first look at him when we return. First pitch of the 7th inning from Eric Marinez will be to Matt Chamberlain. Going to be low and away for ball 1. Lefty swinger Chamberlain. Righty fielder now tips the second one into the netting behind home plate. That's going to be strike number 1. But now I'm going to introduce you to Eric Marinez as the 1-1 pitch goes for strike 2. Marinez, the switch batter, righty thrower, shortstop, third baseman, and relief pitcher, is, well, first going to get Matt Chamberlain out on 3 strikes. First strikeout for the FerryHawks in today's contest. Only the 3rd one of the game. But Marinez, from the Dominican Republic, has spent a lot of time in the Oakland Athletics farm system all the way from 2013 up until 2019. And this is his first stop after affiliated baseball. And it's been a pretty decent one for him, playing both the field to start the year and now primarily as a relief pitcher. Caulfield's first pitch is going to be a strike. Second pitch going to go right to Aguilar at first. Flips it across the field to Osuna. 5-3 if you're scoring it at home. Second out of the inning. And it was to the top of the lineup with Phil Caulfield. In-stepping LJ Mazzilli now. And Marinez only really started pitching since 2017. This season on the mound, 6.69 ERA. This is his 26th appearance. First pitch home to Mazzilli inside for ball 1. And I mentioned before when he was warming up in the bullpen, we've seen some acrobatic type highlight reel plays from Marinez as he gets Mazzilli swinging for strike 1. Counts now 1-1. We'll start off with a few weeks ago. Ricardo Cespedes had a little bumper bruise out in center field, and Marinez, standing almost by home plate, whips one over on a line drive throw, probably the same exit velo as a Ramon Osuna line drive. Ends up right in the glove of Cespedes, seemed to be fine. 1-1 pitch is a ball. Here's the 2-1 pitch now. That's going to be low and away for ball 3. And a few weeks back, batter bunted. Marinez sprints all the way from the pitcher's mound to about 10 feet away from the first base line as Mazzilli fouls one off into one of the suites on the right field line. Doesn't even look towards first base. Picks it up barehanded, and in one motion on the turn, flips it all the way, Osuna, right to his glove. And they actually made the out. Count's now full with 2 outs. No runners on. Pitch to Mazzilli, swing, hit foul. It's coming right towards my booth, but thankfully the netting there was there to stop it. And it's going to belong to Dave the Bat Boy now. Mazzilli stays alive, count at 3-2. And here's the pitch. Rope Herrera's going to get there in time. Flipped it over to Osuna, and he's going to be called safe. Osuna had to reach up and jump to grab that one. But Mazzilli, who's known for being a bit of a speedster, was able to beat out the throw. Great call by Mike Williams there, really on top of it. Standing right by the baseline. That was within split seconds of each other. But great effort there by Herrera and Osuna. But Mazzilli wins the battle there. Now comes in Sam Travis for that ever so dangerous meet of the Ducks lineup. Marinez deals. Outside corner for strike one. Second hit, Marinez has given up, I believe. Or no, it is the first, as Travis is going to hit one into the stands on the right field side. Came in to close out the inning. And Joe DiCarlo was able to get a ribby single off of him. And then got the out finally with Vladimir Frias to retire the side. FerryHawks down by one now, as the 0-1 pitch to Travis almost at about his head level. Had to duck back a little bit to avoid it, but regardless, it's ball one. And yes, staring towards Noriega. Still not a cloud in the sky here at SIUH Community Park. Mazzilli's going to go, but pitch is tipped foul. Mazzilli's going to have to return to first. And Travis is going to go down in the count 1-2. Still no movement, though, in the Ducks bullpen. Looks like Iorio is going to go for 7, or at least attempt to. I saw Tyler Webb, one of the Ducks relievers, warming up at the start of this inning, or at least getting some stretching in. Mazzilli doesn't go this time. The 1-2 pitch is going to be low and away. They try to appeal, saying Travis took a little too much of a check swing there, but 2's now wild on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Marinez settles. Mazzilli's going to go this time. Travis is going to hit it. It's going to go right to Cespedes, and that'll retire the side. So no runs on 1 hit. They're going to leave 1 stranded. Good recovery inning there for the FerryHawks to not extend the lead more than it already is. But it's stretching time here in Staten Island, and we'll see if anyone in the Ducks bullpen starts stretching as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Christopher Cespedes gets up now in the bottom of the 7th. His first time back at the plate after his first hit as a FerryHawk and his first ribby as a FerryHawk. This one's going to be hit right to short. Frias is there, going to get it over to Castro in time. 1 up, 1 down on 1 pitch for Joe Iorio, who's now pitching into the 7th. And he's going to try and get Alfredo Reyes in the same fashion as he's got out the last 4 batters now. Maybe 1-2 pitches each time. There's some action going on in both bullpens now as Iorio deals a strike. Trying to get a quick look through the binoculars to see who's in the FerryHawks bullpen, as the 0-1 pitch ripped right back to shortstop. Frias gets it over to Reyes, or Castro, in time for Reyes. It's going to be the same 6-3 out that we just saw. And it looks like we could be in store for another quick inning, or half inning for that matter, for Joe Iorio. And we're going to get a pinch hitter coming in. Replacing Kelsey Whitmore is Mario Batista. Mario Batista, who we mentioned a run in the last game. Another game where he was, I believe, not even slated to be in the starting lineup. He was supposed to have the night off, but ended up coming in to replace Joseph Monhay. Started playing the field in the second inning, but here he is today with 2 outs. He's going to try and sneak one past Carlos Castro, but great flip over to Joe Iorio, who has to sprint a little bit to the first base bag. But either way, it's going to be yet another 1-2-3, under 10 pitch inning for Joe Iorio, who might be at the end of his line. We're going to have to wait another half inning to see. Score is still Ducks 3, FerryHawks 2 as we head into the 8th inning. It will be a new pitcher for Staten Island as Connor Law toes the rubber now at the top of the 8th inning. Staten Island trails the visiting Long Island Ducks 3-2 after a game where they were leading 2-1 up until the 6th inning. But we're about a third of the way through this, or halfway through this deadly 2 through 5 lineup that the Ducks have put together for this morning's game. LJ Mazzilli and Sam Travis got up last inning, where quick four batters, no runs scored on 1 hit, 1 runner left stranded. And in comes Davidson Romero to face Connor Law. Here's the righty Law, who's spent some time in high A, double A throughout about a 4 or 5 year career. Getting you the exact numbers on that in just a moment now. All of those were spent throughout the Blue Jays system, and making his first season with the Atlantic League one to note with the FerryHawks coming out of their bullpen. 0-1 pitch to Romero goes foul, just right over my head. Lucky fan will probably be able to chase that one down. But the count is now 0-2. And one very inside towards Davidson Romero. It's going to be ball 1. Kind of stared down Law a little bit as they both shake it off, settle in for the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Might have been tipped foul. They're going to say it was. It looked like it was either going to be tipped foul or off the helmet of Andres Noriega. And not to really jinx anything, but so far in today's game, there hasn't been really any lineup changes other than the man on the mound and Mario Batista replacing Kelsey Whitmore at the DH spot. Romero, though, is going to hit the 1-2 pitch all the way into left field. Chris Cespedes right there in time. Cespedes making his debut, moving Duplantis over to right field. Rusney Castillo listed as an active today. We'll see if he'll be back tomorrow to face his former team, or if it will be a interesting defensive alignment once again for the FerryHawks with Duplantis out of his natural habitat. But we'll step aside from talking about the outfield for just a moment while Carlos Castro steps back into the batter's box. First pitch, he's going to tip foul. Counts 0-1. Here's the pitch from Law. Swing and a tip or a miss. Noriega couldn't hold on to it. Luckily, there's nobody on. And it's just going to be a strike two either way. Count is 0-2. One out here for Connor Law. Duplantis, out of the 43 games he's played this season, 32 of them have been in left field. As the 0-2 pitch is going to be roped foul onto Richmond Terrace. 32 in left, 7 in center, 2 in right, and 2 at the designated hitter's spot. Both of those came within the last 2 series. And one of them being last night. Here's the 0-2. Swing and fouled once again. Same location as the last ball. Ricardo Cespedes, on the other hand, been on the team much longer. 74 starts for him. 62 of those have been in center field. So the captain of the outfield not really looking to move anytime soon. Castro's going to hit one to Herrera. Traditional play there, right back to Osuna. Going to get the out at first base. 4-3 if you're scoring it at home. 2 outs. Up steps Dustin Woodcock. Some action now going on in the Ducks bullpen. First, I mentioned Tyler Webb was up. But here's the 1-0 pitch. Right line drive to Angel Aguilar. That'll retire the side. And we'll see if the mystery man in the Ducks bullpen, it looks like it, last time I looked, it looked like it could have been Jose. But we'll have to wait and see till the bottom of the 8th inning in 60 seconds. Will Joe Iorio come out or will it be someone else? Score is still 3-2 in favor of the Ducks. So it looks like it will be Jose, who replaces Joe Iorio after a stellar effort from him today. Pulling up the exact numbers right now. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, gave up 2 runs and 4 free passes, but ended up striking out 2. And similarly with how Anthony Rodriguez finished his day, only the 2 strikeouts over 7 innings. Something we don't really see in FerryHawks Stadium or in the Atlantic League in general. A lot more strikeouts instead of guys trying to send it over the fence than the fielding really being a huge factor in terms of how the game has gone. FerryHawks do have 1 error, and it was the one that ended up leading to the second score of the game for the Ducks. But here's Anton Duplantis, almost takes one up to the helmet area by Jose. Has to move out of the way, but it's going to be ball 1. Joe DiCarlo's ball that got him onto first and drove in Davidson Romero, the leading run in the 6th inning. Couldn't be fielded by Chris Cespedes, making his debut today out in left field. The 1-0 pitch to Duplantis right down the middle for a strike 1. So it's time to meet Jose, one of the best names in the Atlantic League and all of baseball for that matter. Former D-backs hand and Miami Marlins hand. His minor league days go all the way back to 2010. The 32-year-old now has Antoine Duplantis, the much younger Antoine Duplantis, at a 1-2 count. He's going to settle. Here's the 1-2, swing and a miss. Duplantis goes down on strikes. 1 out at the top of the 8th inning, 1 up, 1 down, and here come the Ducks starting the around the horn. Give it back to Mr. Jose. a lot of time in different independent leagues throughout both America and Mexico, his home country of the Dominican Republic. Former Jersey Jackal and Somerset Patriot. He's going to pitch now to former Met Dilson Herrera, and Herrera's going to pop out to Caulfield. It looked like Carlos Castro was trying to wave off Caulfield and call it his, but Caulfield, the one that was able to make the catch, and the play would have resulted the same either way. But that's an F4 if you're scoring in at home, and in comes Angel Aguilar. (2018) with the Patriots was Jose's first season in the Atlantic League. Went back to the Can-Am League for 2019. Spent some time in Mexico, then returned to Gastonia in 2021. Now finds himself with the Long Island Ducks. 1 win on the season so far in 7 games. No starts, though, performing primarily as a relief pitcher. His first pitch to Aguilar was strike. Here comes the 0-1. Ripped hard down to center field. Caulfield there in time to make the play, though. Over to Castro, and that'll retire the side. Another 1-3 inning for the trailing FerryHawks. Score remains at 3-2. 1 inning left to play here at SIUH Community Park. We'll be back after this short break with the 9th and final inning. We head to the 9th inning. Starting off here with the Ducks looking to extend their lead, give them some insurance as the FerryHawks will have last licks. But on the mound, it's their closer, Victor Capillán. Capillán, we haven't really seen much of him in the recent weeks. Haven't seen him at all last series against Lancaster. No need for him yesterday, even though this is where the Ducks did most of their damage, scoring 7 of the 14 runs in the 9th inning. DeCarlo's first at-bat of the inning is going to go straight to Osuna, who has to backtrot a little bit into right field. Dealing with the sun a little bit here on this Wednesday afternoon, but regardless, that's out number 1. And a great start as Vladimir Frias and the final 2 the final 2 batters of the Ducks lineup will be due up here. See if they can get to the 2 through 5 slots, and Phil Caulfield for that matter. See if they can get them at the batter's box by the end of the inning, and hopefully add to their lead. Capillán, though, first pitch to Frias into the back fence, foul ball. Capillán, who just turned 33 this past week, in his second Atlantic League season. Last season spent time with the York Revolution. This season with Staten Island, 32 games he's appeared in, finished off 29 of them, 12 saves. The 0-1 pitch, high and away for a ball. 1 out, nobody on base. 1-1 count for Capillán and the batter Frias. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a tip or miss. Isn't going to matter. It's strike number 2. Fountain favor of Capillán. Some action going on in the Ducks bullpen as well. I'd assume that's their closer. But back to the main action. It's a 1-2 count. Capillán deals. Tipped foul by Frias. Cappy on another Diamondbacks hand. Wonder if he ever crossed paths with Jose. There's some potential. They may have been in the same locker room at some point in the early stages of Jose's career and the latter stages of Capion's career, as Frias is going to hit one into the seats down the right field line. Capion was with Arizona from 2008 all the way to 2012. For spending a lot of time in just independent of the American Association down in Mexico as well. He's got the 1-2 pitch. Frias is going to make contact with this one, and it's going to be Cespedes' opportunity to make the out there right over that orange and white SI logo in the middle of center field. F8 if you're scoring that at home. 2 outs. Matt Chamberlain up. This might be the guy that if you're Edgardo Alfonso's group and the FerryHawks offense, you can count on to help you get out of this inning with only 1 run to tie up the game left to go in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch to Chamberlain fouled. Chamberlain's first at bat as a Long Island Duck came today. It was a ground out to Ramon Osuna at first. Then grounded into a double play in the 5th inning and then struck out in the 7th. So a chance at redemption or a chance to go 0 for 4 in your debut. Here's the 0-1 into the fence. It was tipped foul for ball 2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Staten Island will have Cespedes, Noriega, and Osuna up to start the 9th inning. But they're going to need more than that if they're going to take the victory. Most likely, as the 0-2 pitch, a little bit outside for a ball. Counts now 1-2. Osuna really the only one that I'd say has a threat of making it with the one swing of the bat, as Chamberlain hits one over the netting up onto a sweep, but it ricochets down, and young fan's going home with a souvenir. Cespedes does have 4 home runs on the year, but one of the mainstays on the FerryHawks, you already mentioned, started well over 70 games. The 1-2 pitch is in the dirt for ball 2. Noriega does have 2 home runs on the year in 31 appearances. And then Osuna, who, even though has a sub 200 batting average, he's the one you know has the power. But here's the 2-2 pitch. And that's going to drop just foul, maybe 6 inches from the line in right field, just past the Ducks bullpen. And 6 inches to the right, Duplantis wouldn't have been there in time. That would have been in fair territory. Chamberlain would have had his first hit of the day, and it would have brought up Phil Caulfield. Caulfield is taking some practice swings, so he has faith in his new teammate. But Deuce is wild on the scoreboard now. In the top of the 9th inning, Capion deals, swing and a miss. It's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for the FerryHawks closer. They're still down 1, though. It's Long Island Ducks 3, Staten Island FerryHawks 2. As we have one final chance here at SIUH Community Park. FerryHawks looking to answer and potentially take the lead, walk off in front of this camp day crowd here in Staten Island. So in steps Ricardo Cespedes for the FerryHawks' final opportunity to get something started and hopefully get their 9th win against the Ducks in this season. Close the gap a little bit in the Battle of the Belt. But they're going to have to do it against former Major Leaguer Tyler Webb. First pitch. Cespedes looked like he was going to show bunt maybe. Ended up pulling back the back, stepping to the very back of the batter's box on that left side. And it's going to be strike one. The 0-1 pitch, up and away, ricochets off one of the suites, and we got a little bit of a race for it. 3 different kids looking for it in the stands. And it took them a little while, but looks like one of them got it. The 0-2 pitch tipped foul. Drops straight down behind the plate. Cespedes is going to stay alive here. Tyler Webb spent some time with a few different major league teams all over the course of a few years. Cespedes is going to run on a drop strike third, but nothing special there. He's going to strike out. And with now 1 out, only a few batters left. It's past your big swingers, so to say. Duplantis, Herrera, Aguilar all hit last inning. Got to try everything you can in the bottom of the 9th. Webb deals to Noriega now. First pitch right down the middle for strike one. 2017 to 2021, Tyler Webb was in the major leagues. Noriega's going to rip one. That's going to get down in time, right by left center field. It was Travis that fielded it, but Noriega's giving the FerryHawks some life, and the winning run is at the plate in the form of Ramon Osuna. But back to Webb. He spent time with the Yankees, Brewers, Padres. Longest stint was with the St. Louis Cardinals, but played with them up until last year. Appeared in 22 games. Webb deals to the hard-hitting Osuna inside for strike one. And we talked about it a little bit in the top of the 9th. This might be the guy you want to have on the bag going for the winning run. Big swing and a miss, and he showed you why just there. A fast, powerful swing of the bat. Unfortunately, was not able to connect with the ball. The count's 0-2. Webb deals the 0-2 pitch. Little low. Noriega maybe thought about running there. But it's going to be ball one as DeCarlo was able to trap it under him before it can become much worse. Wouldn't expect Noriega to steal here, but this one's going to be popped. Going to make the seats on the left field side for Osuna. Noriega's only stolen one base on one attempt. And I think the FerryHawks have learned their lesson from a week ago when they had a winning run at the plate in the form of Mario Batista. He struck out, so that make it 2 outs as the 1-2 pitch goes high. Batista struck out with 1 out, made it 2. Alfredo Reyes was in the process of stealing. Lancaster's catcher threw it over to second base, got him out in time, and that ended the game. Osuna swing and a miss. That's going to be strike 3. Second strikeout for Tyler Webb of the inning, second out of the inning. And he's already scored, he's already batted in 1. Is this his chance to do it again? Chris Cespedes could be the hero of his first game. He represents the winning run. Andres Noriega represents the tying run. 2 outs to go here in the bottom of the 9th. Webb deals. Big swing and a miss by Cespedes. 0-1 pitch comes quick in the dirt. It's going to one-hop into the glove of DiCarlo. Count is 1-1. FerryHawks against Lancaster found themselves in two scenarios where the winning run was at the plate, only one out in the ninth inning, and they weren't able to convert on either of those. Big swing and a miss now on the 1-1 pitch to Cespedes. It's going to make the count 1-2. And this is a scenario. You come to the team, your first game. You're up representing the winning run. He's going to hit one into play here, but it's going to go right to short. Frias can't make the play over to first. Castro, on what looked like to be a surefire out, is going to advance Andres Noriega all the way to third. We'll see how they score it, but it looks like it'll be an error. And Chris Cespedes, with two of the biggest hits in the FerryHawks side of things right now. Tying run less than 90 feet away now in the form of Andres Noriega. The winning run would be Cespedes, who's over at first. But the man with the lumber will be Alfredo Reyes. And his .235 batting average, something to keep of note. The one concern the FerryHawks might have with Reyes is the fact that he's only got 8 RBIs this season. .33 runs total for Reyes in 71 games. 2 outs remain, runners on the corners. Webb settles, and he deals. Right down the middle for strike one. Reyes had a hit yesterday. He's going to bunt, and it's going to go foul. Very interesting choice by Reyes to bunt with 2 outs remaining and the tying run less than 90 feet away. Not sure if that was a coaching decision, an Alfredo Reyes decision, or just split-second thinking by the righty. But either way, it's not going to matter. Counts now 0-2 in favor of Webb. And Webb deals. Inside ball 1. Reyes 1 for 2 last night. Strikeout. Swing and a miss. It's going to get away from DiCarlo, and they're going to say Reyes tipped it, so Cespedes, who tried to make his way over to second base, and it looked like he might have gotten there, has to do the walk of shame all the way to first base. Mario Batista, the pinch DH, came in last inning for Kelsey Whitmore, confident in Alfredo Reyes. Cespedes is going to go again. This one's ripped foul again, but not in the dirt right by home plate. This one's going to go right down the right field line. And Cespedes is going to have to walk all the way back once again. Armand Lane getting the FerryHawks crowd make a little noise for the home team. As Webb settles. The pitch, another foul ball. Now this time Cespedes stays. And a quick reminder, it is Chris Cespedes, not Ricardo Cespedes. It's going to make things confusing for the rest of the season if he stays on the team. Now he goes. Ball's going to get down. He's going to drop third run. That's going to retire the game. And Alfredo Reyes not happy with that one. Had the chance to get it done. Ended up swinging and missing for strike 3. And that's going to end the ball game. Long Island Ducks take another one from Staten Island. Makes the battle of about 13-8 in favor of them. Meanwhile, for the FerryHawks side of things, that's going to be their 6th straight loss with a chance at redemption and hopefully not another series sweep tomorrow night at 6:30. Once again, I'm Michael Fiumefreddo coming to you live from SIUH Community Park. We'll be back tomorrow for the final game of this series between the Ducks and the FerryHawks. Have a great night.